We should be live. Let's see if the screen updates.
We are live.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Amigos live on Mondays. And tonight we have a special guest, Mr. Kev Coils on Instagram.
Everybody.
I need to mute myself.
That was me. Sorry.
Wow. Anyways. So, what's up, guys? We have Kev, like I said. If you guys don't already, follow Kev on Instagram, Kev Coils. He does a lot of advocacy stuff, a lot of coil stuff. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we'll start out tonight real nice and easy and do a quick little buffet. And since Kev is our resident guest talker tonight, we'll start with Kevin. So, Kev, with the buffet, tell us what you're vaping on, what you got, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, as always, if you do know, I rock my Defiance pretty much all day, every day. Twisted Messes, Pro 24 on top. Got some aliens in there. And some good old Vapor Treat strawberry cookie butter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Classic setup, man. Adam, how about you?
Just two devices today. The Ride or Die Profile Topside Dual. In that I have Mr. Labworks Butterscotch Honeycomb, which is stunning. And also, I like saying this DBB3. DBB3, Chieftain with Blotto, and Event Horizon from Mr. Labworks as well. And I do have a little Caliburn floating around as well with some hunting clouds, sour blackberry from New Zealand, which is really, really yummy. So that's it, actually. I did set up something else, but I can't vape it, so I'm not going to even talk about that.
I'm gonna try some more of that hunting clouds. I can't remember what it was I tried. It was pretty good though. I think the last time I looked, most of their flavored profiles were just a little too fruity for my taste. Not a lot of pastry.
No, I think he only does one that's is a blackberry donut action, but yeah, very
nice.
Forward. But yeah, super nice guy.
So today what I got is a lot of the same. I got the Aegis, it's that shiny over there. That shiny one. Got the Blotto on top with a pair of custom breeze tones. Hughes Clapton 28, triple core thingy mabobby. I can never remember all the numbers. damn fine babe. And it's got some vanilla custom. I can't remember. The camera's there. I look at you guys here. The camera's there. I'm a professional. You'd think I'd remember where the camera is. I also got another of the same Aegis with the stock Cerebus on top with my all-time favorite Mayo vape. Still working on the same bottle. I can't believe it's taking that long to go through it.
What actually is that?
It's a liquid for vaping. Peach lemonade.
Yep.
Again, another Aegis, but this one's the limited edition, and the My Tapes Intake Dual. And
You got the dual already.
I got the Dual. The review was supposed to be up this morning, but my internet is not just potatoes, it's mashed potatoes. Literally, I started uploading my next review last night at 9 p.m. When I woke up this morning, it was at 3%.
Yes.
So I hit cancel, because otherwise I would not be here. I would be uploading, and I can't do them at the same time. I said, fuck it, it's going up tomorrow. So yeah, anyway, intake Dual, my face. And Barista Brew stuff.
Nice.
Yummy. I'm all about that Barista Brew. And lastly, Asmodus setup, garage on top, and Ducks nuts. And yeah, that's about it. Oh no, wait a minute. One more thing on my shelf. This little fucker.
What is that?
Voopoo.
Gaudy as fuck is what that is. Look at that.
Is that the Voopoo? No.
No, it's the Battlestar Nano from Smollett.
Yes.
Body system just pops right in.
The dual airflow thing.
No. Just normal little pod system.
Are you sure about that? Anyway, doesn't matter.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
But yeah, that's it.
So I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, Vandal. This is gonna take a while, guys. So get a coffee.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out Duck's Nuts. I'm like, what the hell's going on there?
Duck's Nuts is Bogan's brew, and it's cherry donut.
Oh, that's right up my alley right there. I'll take some of that.
If you like cherry and you like donut, go for that one. Most cherry leans way towards that sort of cough syrup, but here, if you get the right, it's weird too. If you put it in like a pod, cough syrup all the way, it doesn't work. But if you put it in like big cloudy airflow, crank up the wattage, it sort of evens things out, and the donut comes through, and the cherry just starts to taste a lot more like real cherries.
Oh, shit.
Awesome on a high wattage dripper.
So everybody out there listening, if you're looking for Duck's Nuts, that's not what you're needing.
So actually, I do got something different. I mean, it's the same, but it's different. Obviously, Anchor's pink. What's up? And then I had to, my top side, I dropped it like 100 times, and it worked great, and then it finally went out today, so I went and got another top side, but with the gold and black. It's really pretty.
It works.
Yeah, it works. And I actually find something got to match the gold cap on the goat. So there we go. That's it.
Amazing. How many years you been on that anarchist pink now? I mean, it's got to be 3 or 4.
Since it came out, it's the what got me stopped smoking cigarettes. I've tried stuff in between, and nothing sticks like that. So
That stuff's fire, so I don't blame you.
yeah. And then I'm gonna go through the chat real fast. We got a bunch of people in here. It's gonna take me a second to catch up. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna do a group hello. Welcome everybody coming. We got everyone telling us what they're on in the chat. But yeah. So we'll shout out to you guys. T Crow, Jangles, Shua Vape in here. We got Kathy. We got Raven wrenching on us, holding it down. Always lost. Amazing woman. I remembered. Johnny Deathhead. He says he's shouting out to you, Kev. He says he made his first attempt at a parabolic today. Got one out, clean coil out of the one clean coil out of the rod.
That's my boy Johnny. Yeah, no, definitely. What up, Johnny?
So yeah, we got a bunch of cool people in here. Jake is rocking some DIY maple nut cream at the Core RTA, some SS Claptons, and then yeah, man, we got a lot of people in here. So anyways, we'll get right to it. Instagram, if you don't already know, but Kev Coils, he does a lot of great product photography stuff for a bunch of cool brands. He's also advocates his ass off and drives around to different states in his area and places to make sure that his voice is heard. And this is why we have him on here tonight, not only because he's a great guy, but he also does great things for the community. So Kev, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit, like, what got you into vaping, man? If it's okay.
Let's see. I don't know. I've been vaping for about 4.5 years. I smoked for 19, from the time I was 18 till I was 37, 38. I'm now 43. Let's see. I tried multiple times getting off cigarettes between gum, patches, cold turkey. Nothing worked. And then finally, I don't even know where I saw it. It was online somewhere. It was about a cloud count, I think, way back when they first started doing those. And I saw this guy blow a huge cloud, and I was like, all right, I'm going to look into it. So I get online, and the first site that comes up back then, I think it was mandatory, it was Mount Baker Vapor. Is that correct? It's been so long since I've been back to that site. But I bought myself an Ego and a couple of juices and went at it. And about a month in with that, I was all done with cigarettes. It was amazing. I was done. I didn't need a cigarette. I was vaping, and I right off the bat saw the benefits that this was giving me. I have a 9-year-old daughter now. She was only 4 or 5 when I started, but I knew that I had to do something to get off cigarettes for her. So after that first month, I was driving down a road over here, and I saw a place called Pale Horse Vapors, and I pulled off, and I went in there with my little Ego pen, and I was like just going in to check it out, and I ended up walking out with my first my first device really, it was a Kanger sub box, and I was excited. And Jesus, let's see, I started on that thing. It came with a rebuildable little deck, and I started just trying to get wires in there, trying to make my own thing. Because everybody was like, get off the OCC. They had the pre-mades. They're like, you got to try and just build this thing. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it. But I started building on it and started doing Claptons, and it was just little 3-rep, 28, whatever, in that thing. And Jesus, it inclined me to want to learn more about vaping at that point. So at that point, I started getting onto Facebook, joined the Kanger group, and I started learning more and more about this stuff and this industry. And it was so new back then still. And I started seeing a guy come up in the feeds around in that chat. He was an admin. His name was Ryan Jenks, and I don't see him anymore on IG, but he was real big builder back in the day, and he's the one that I first saw aliens from, and right then and there, I knew I had to do it. And I think it was about 6 months in that I really got into building and started doing phone shots, and nothing on IG. I didn't start on IG, I think, until about a year in. I was messing around on IG, but I don't even know. I mean, from there, it's all been kind of a blur. I mean, I just put my nose down and started building, and I mean, I grew. I mean, I at first when I was on IG, I think my name was Kev Vapes in 518 because that's the area code, and then I finally came up with Kev Coils, and that stuck. And I don't know, just spinning wire to me. There's a lot of things that happened prior to that. Like I'm over 11 years clean now. So I mean, the hobby itself gave me something to take up my time, because everything I was doing prior to that, I mean, I have my daughter and she is my life. And whenever I had downtime and she's with her mom, I needed something to do. So I grew it into this big old hobby that I have now, and it takes over half my kitchen. Like I got the milk station here, I got all the stuff over there, and this industry has made me a lot of great friends. Has taken a lot of stress out of my life, also added to it now. I don't know. I got nothing but good things to say about vaping in general. You'll never hear me speak bad on it, and I will carry that message on for as long as I possibly can. Even if all this was to end and they said there's no more vaping, I'm still going to be vaping. And when the time comes where I finally decide that I'm just going to walk away from it, it's not going to be a bad feeling. It's just, it's me moving on. But I'm going to tell people that I know that they're smoking and looking for another option. I'm here. I'll talk to you about it, and I'll let you know. So, I mean, now it's just more focused on advocacy and trying to save what's going on, and it's such a battle that it beats you up. I know it beats everybody up right now. And, it seems like when you get one step up, then MSM steps in and it puts you back 10 steps, and you're just like, holy, what are we doing? What is going on? So, I mean, that's just the background, really. So, yeah.
Yeah. That was a big story.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I gotta open my window because it's really vapey in here. But
That's the thing.
Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
I was going to say that brings an excellent point to the confusion of what's going on. You've got one group saying one thing, and then another group, slowly drip feeding their information, which is not entirely accurate, for the people. Do you think this is a concerted effort by, FDA, CDC, the presidency? We've got stuff going on, all over the place. Like, is this to try and keep us, disorganized as well?
I mean, there's only so much organization that you can get. I mean, it's like Legion said in his last rant, so to say. It's you can bounce ideas off of each other on Facebook all day long, but you're talking to the wrong people, right? You know, you're not talking to the people that we need to sway here. The people that A, don't really care. B, they're just indifferent to it. They're like, whatever, if it goes, it goes. If it stays, it stays. Because they're not going to speak out on it because it's not affecting them. You know, it's something that, I mean, you can post it on your wall. Like, I post stuff on my wall on Facebook, and I'm sure that I've had friends hit the unfollow button, unfriend button, because they're sick of seeing it, but they're not hearing the message that we're trying to lay out here is that they're stripping a freedom. Like, this is a freedom, and it's easy for them to do because vaping is fairly new to the end of the world. It's not like guns that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, or alcohol, you know, has been around and been through this, and they're just like, you know what, we can shut these guys down. And I just said it on a post because somebody put up in Ohio, I think it is, there's been 10 deaths, 10 overdoses in the last 26 hours. And, you know, he's like, why are they not attacking that? You can't. It's the black market. They can't stop the black market. And the black market's got us to where we are with vaping and gives them those bullets. So now everybody just sees vaping headlines and they're not looking into the story. So trying to sway the outside eyes to actually pay attention to it is the hardest thing that we have to do. But that's about the only thing that's going to help us right now is to get people that don't, you know, partake. They don't have to worry about the subculture, you know, that we're all into. They have to worry about the right that's being stripped here. I mean, there's no other way to put it to them. It's just, look, they're stripping us, all right? This is what they're doing. This is not democracy. And it really sucks because what happens here in America, it ripples through the world. Like, I talked to a buddy of mine that is over in New Zealand, and he's like, sales have dropped, they've tanked, people aren't vaping, they're not doing what they used to do because of this scare, and it's unreal how bad the USA affects the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And they hit on the... Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was going to say, our Australian Medical Association just can't wait, you know, for stuff to come out of the US because they're just parroting or, you know, misinformation, and then you engage with them to ask them to explain, and, you know, no engagement. So you know, that's an influencer as well, you know.
I mean, you see it in hearings here with like Talib when she was attacking Miss Porter about some stuff that doesn't even pertain to what they're talking about. Like, you're not listening from day one, and that was, you can witness that when I witness that when I go to hearings here. They're just signed off. They're down in their books and they're writing. They're not writing anything about what you're talking about. All right, they're not even.
Their minds are made up.
That's it. Like when I went to Yonkers, I had a good feeling. I was like, you know what, we're making the drive. The turnouts for these things are horrible, as Chris has stated in prior. You know, everybody talks a good game online, but when it comes down to it, even with you giving them 2 months notice every week, you're posting, hey, don't forget this date, don't forget this date. And then you get there and you're lucky to see, you know, 10 people on your side while all the ants are there and, you know, all the psychos battling and all the soccer moms. And you're just like, you feel so overwhelmed, you know? And then you get to the podium and you've got so much to say and you have it written out. You want to say it, but as the proceeding goes on, they start cutting times down. They start cutting times down. And everybody's got a story about how it helped them, and that's great, and I love that you got away from cigarettes, right? That's what we're trying to do. But on the other side, I can understand the people that are there listening, supposedly not hearing that over and over and over and over and over. All right, yeah, we get it. Your uncle, you know, had COPD, and you don't want to go down that road. You have to. Every time you go to one of these, you have to bring another point to it, another valid point to it, something that's not being spoken of. You know, you got to go into guns blazing. I mean, the last one I went to, I had a vandal saw it. I had a big thing written, but it was like 3 minutes long. And in the beginning, I got a little nervous about it because at the end, I was about to rip them apart. And I didn't get that far because all of a sudden in the back I hear 30 seconds and I'm like, fuck, I'm not even halfway through this thing. So you start rambling and you try to get it out, but getting a turnout to these things is huge. But the way I see it, most of the time when you go into them, the writing's already on the wall for you. It's so hard to get this overturned and people to look at it from your standpoint, you know.
And so I have a question for something like that. Then, as
I have to say, I find the whole idea of having hearings.
go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
My internet. Yeah, my internet got shit for a sec. Anyway, yeah, I find the whole idea of having hearings kind of mind-boggling. A whole bunch of people get up and talk about, you know, their personal opinions, preferences, biases, whatever. How are you going to make, you know, valid and justifiable evidence-based law on people yapping their feelings? Especially, like you said, I mean, we have a hard time getting our people there, but they can pay to bust people in. But it's all just feelings. It's not evidence. These things shouldn't be made like this. Just like Michigan and Massachusetts, those laws shouldn't be passed unilaterally by someone with no basis of information and no research done. We shouldn't just go, oh, well, yeah, the news said it's bad, so I'm going to ban it. Well, stop. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. Go call some researchers. Get some evidence. You know, base your decision on that. It should never be just a bunch of people talking. Because people talk a lot of shit.
And then you have 1 minute to tell me why your life matters. Sorry, 30 seconds.
At the one in Albany, I didn't get a chance to speak because they started cutting it down and they never called my name. And it actually, at one point, I was like, I'm going to run down the hall here and I'm just going to get a bag of Sour Patch Kids and just let them know that, you know, adults don't like flavors. Just sit there for the whole minute just eating Sour Patches. That's what I was going to do. I was like, you know what? Let's give it to them. Ain't nobody's going to care.
And so what I wanted to get into was, obviously you've been to more of the hearings than most of us here. I mean, obviously you guys are in Australia, so it's a little different, but I've been to the ones that affect me stateside because I don't have the ability to travel, you know, other places, which like you have, and hit a bunch of different ones. But do you think, like, from your personal opinion, and I'm not saying like, oh, crazy, like jump on tables and stuff, to instead, you think that instead of presenting our personal stories, maybe bringing up the fact that, what about this tax money that's coming out of it and stuff like that would maybe make more of a splash, that they would pay more attention, do you think, to bring that up?
I think it makes a splash in the media so other people see it. They already know about it, all right? They don't want to hear it, but sooner or later they're going to hear it. And Matt Elliott made that very clear when he was in New York City on that day when they did the board meeting and teleconferencing, and you have to start bringing these facts up, especially if you're going to get some kind of media coverage. And when they do their live feeds, they post them up. I think it stays on file for 7 days or 7 weeks or something. But you have to find those clips, and they have to go viral somehow. And you know, it has to be put on the media somewhere where people are going to see it, and you're gonna see the corruption that's going on. Now, 95% of the people in this country know it's corrupt. All right, it's just whether or not it's affecting them or not at this point, and that's where it's going as far as I see. I don't know. Bringing up valid points about money and taxes and bonds is very good, but that can also get repetitive if you don't have your stats and you don't have money
to back you up
where this money went, where that money went, you know, and how come Cuomo's getting a $50,000 raise this year? Where did that come from, you know?
Well, the latest one that I saw was that MSA funds were used for tobacco production.
Yeah, and oh man, that brings me to my next point. Like, if I can't remember, and I'll try to find it, so I'm not gonna speak out of pocket and give you guys numbers. I don't know what I'm saying, but there was a breakdown of the MSA money in New York, and it was like 21% of the MSA money went to actual MSA things that it was promised for, and the rest of it went to everything else that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they got a lot of bridge work to do here. I just saw an article that we have so many bridges that are shot that. That's where that MSA money went. It has nothing to do with tobacco, all right? But
I want to know. Sorry, Kev. I was going to say the other thing that I want to know is, like, the media is very quick to pick up on the cherry picking and, you know, to just say vaping and not, you know, say carts and THC and whatnot. why aren't the reporters talking about that, the NSA situation in the US? Why is that not clickbait? Is it because the states are in such a bad situation, like each state, particularly like the top 10 who are, banning outright or flavors, leading the charge with that, also happen to be leading the charge with, with bad debt? Is it because they don't talk about that because they worry that, the general populace will revolt?
I think they're more worried about backlash from the government, to tell you the truth.
Because honestly, nothing else makes sense. Especially with like you're saying with this, knowing this tax stuff. When we had our hearing here in the Las Vegas, right, or in the state of Nevada, for the tax or whatever, when they did that, we provided facts that the senator was paid off by Altria, which owns Joel. Literally 1,000. She was getting money and contributions from Altria, and it wasn't like buku bucks where she was able to live off of it, but it was enough to pay for these buses that ship these kids in.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Kev, was it you were at the Yonkers hearing? You went to other ones in New York? There was 2 going on, is that right?
Yeah, I went down to the Yonkers one, and then the thing is, as of recent, like the one in Albany that I went to 2 in Albany in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and one, they just dropped. It was basically you had 12-hour notice that they were doing this. So, I mean, to do that, you can see that they're trying to, get it by without anybody getting there. And they really don't. There wasn't even that many ants there. It was not on my side. In New York City, I think they did deal with ants there. Not in Albany and in Buffalo. But the thing is like if you announce that, say 4:30 the day prior, I didn't find out until 8 o'clock or something the night prior, and I still had work in the morning. I mean, I get up at 4 in the morning and I'm at work at 6 in the morning, so I got to go into work, and I pretty much everybody I work with knows how heavy I am into this, and I kind of got a leash. So I pretty much had to boot out of work at a half day so I can get to these events. I had to do it for Yonkers. I had to leave a half day there, and then Albany was the daytime meeting, so I had to actually scoot out of work early that day too. And that's what they try to do, is try to sneak these by. So, I mean, not that it really matters, because as you can see, even if you do one at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, getting people there it's so hard. It's usually the same crew of guys that show up. And, it's day in, day out type stuff, but travel, I mean, I'll travel quite a bit. I was going to go down to Jersey, actually. I was thinking about going down to Jersey for their flavor ban, but that's it. Albany County, another one in legislation. That was the last one I went to. I was told, I was like, why are they doing a county one when it's already being a statewide ban? And as it turns out, that if the statewide gets, either overturned or in 90 days or whatever they're saying, it doesn't get renewed, the county still has that law, so they can uphold it.
It's like an ordinance kind of thing, I guess, then?
Yeah, it's more of an ordinance, I would say. I mean, it's a shit show, and us trying to beat it here in New York right now at this point is, I'm telling you.
Well, they also... They also...
They're closing here. They're like done. I mean, it's like over. It's insane.
They also did the thing where they also brought it up to the New York Supreme Court, I believe, and the judge shot it down, saying that they couldn't question the governor on his authority on something like that. I just read something about it. If I can find links, I'll send them later. But yeah, so it's insane because you're being worked against by all aspects of it. And then also, like you were saying, I just want to say this real fast. Thank you for taking the initiative to go do that on your own. You took time away from work, which means you probably weren't getting fucking paid. And you went out there to go fight this shit. And so, from the community, man, thank you. But also another thing I want to throw in there. We brought up the Jersey thing earlier. Jersey tabled it, and the reason why I think they did table it is like, if you guys follow obviously Turk and Turk.net, Chloe and stuff like that, so many people showed up to it. So what Kev is saying is right. If more people show up, you're gonna fucking make waves to where these people aren't gonna be ready for it. And I'm not saying that the fight's over in Jersey, but it gave us more time.
No, it is. and here's the thing, I'm not a public speaker. I hate public speaking. I mean, I'm shaky, I'm nervous about it. I mean, I know I gotta do it. And if it's only gonna take you 3 minutes to spiel, or even they give you 3 minutes and you use a minute and a half, I mean, showing up and doing that alone it's huge. It is huge. Because having 10 or 15 vapors there, or business owners that are fighting this, over and over, same faces for these guys. Like, I go up to the podium to sign in Albany, and the girl, she automatically knows. She's like, "You're here for local law E again, aren't you?" I was like, "Yep." You know, it's happened the last 2 times, and I'm like, "You getting sick of seeing my face?" She's like, "No, not at all." I was like, "Oh, what are you doing, man?"
I don't understand that.
Go take out a beat tomorrow.
Como passed or made his announcement. The very next morning, how many vapors are in New York? All of them. How many? What's the number? What are we doing as a community? Why didn't each and every single one of those people be at his door in the morning? I'd like to have a talk with you. Lined up, round the clock.
I hear you, Steve. I do.
Those numbers alone, the day after, would have shut him down. Fear.
Dimitri's idea of getting every vape store employee to turn up to the employment office on the same day, you know, tell a few
That's the
radio
crazy
stations.
thing. Like, the vape shop employees don't even show up at these things a lot. I don't get it. This is your job. Like, all right, I'm into the subculture. I do what I do for love. All right, I don't have any money invested in it. I don't have. This isn't this isn't what pays my bills. All right. I just know that this is a great device to get people away from something that kills, and I want to try and save it because it saved me. And to, you know, for vape shops, I understand you got bills to pay too, and you got money to be made. But at points in times, there comes a point in time where you got to close the shop down. You have to get everybody that works there on the floor. You got to get this done.
Look! I
might not get tomorrow.
I live in a very country regional area, and we've got a train line that used to run through here. So, you know, stacked up, bridges, all that stuff. Train line's gone, hasn't run for like 15 years. And they're working at turning it into a walking, cycling trail, state-owned beauty tourism thing, right?
Yep.
Well, there's a group of people in town that want the train back. I mean, lost cause, right? It's been 20 years. The tracks are rusted. The bridges are shit. It's not going to happen. Train is old school. Everyone flies. But every month or two, there's a hearing about what we're going to do and where the funding is going to go. Better believe 200-300 of those people, every single one, bring back the rail. Like, if they can fucking do it for train tracks,
They can do it for this.
for our own
I
lives.
totally agree with you. I believe me, you know. And I get that, you know, there's, you know, 1 million vapors in New York State. If you were to even get
A quarter.
you know, a quarter of that to even think about showing up, you know, it would turn the tables in New York. It would make ripples. The news crews could not deny that. They would have to film that.
Absolutely. You can't miss that.
Unfortunately, that's not what happens at these things. I'm glad that Turk and Chloe got such a good turnout and they got that table. Unfortunately, that's not how it goes here. But then again, Cuomo's a beast of his own. Did you guys see in Michigan? They shot down their little. They put in a, you know, to deter that for a couple of weeks or something, and that got shot down too today. So they're pretty much screwed still.
And the worst part is that even like in some states like that, because like the biggest states that collect the most MSA money right now are the ones doing this, is that they know that they can use the executive power to shut you down no matter what. But the fact is if you like, you know, I don't feel hopeless in it, but if enough people show up, you're going to get the attention of it. Like we saw like the Reapers guy, Elliot, right? I think that's his name. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but Elliot, right? Now you saw him on mainstream main sources and stuff like that, like doing that stuff. Regardless of how you do it, to a degree, you'll get the attention. And so, like, these states already have it in their heads to do it, but then when people were to question it from either outside the state or from higher powers, then you will make a difference. That's why it's so important for every single person that's able to show up and do that. And like you said about the vape shops, if you're talking about like, we got to stay in here because we might make a sale, I doubt you're going to make as many sales that you're going to make when you're shut down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're not, you got today, you're not promised tomorrow, and that's pretty much what happened. And you slept on it, and here we sit now. It's mind-boggling, dude. And then when they're showing up with crews of kids for the TV camera, let it be 8-year-olds that know nothing about anything, can barely tie their own shoes, but here they are holding, Flavors Hook kid signs. You don't even know what the hell's going on.
And that's what pisses me off the most is like this whole industry thing that they're saying about like that's their standpoint right now. It's marketing the kids and stuff like that. But you can't tell me that as a normal person outside of this group right here that you wouldn't feel disgusted not knowing that your school bus of kids went on a field trip to go rant and chant over off of some stupid bullshit script that they don't even know what the hell they're talking about, and they're using kids more than vaping has ever. If you ever thought vaping attracted kids or tried to target kids, there's no way it's never as bad as what these people are doing to go against vaping to target kids. They're literally pulling them out of school where they're supposed to be learning, whether it's math or whatever the hell it is, to go here and act like they know what the hell they're doing. And then you're giving these kids signs, you're telling them to chant this stuff, and they don't know any better. These kids don't make decisions for themselves, and it's not about the kids, it's about the adults doing this shit. And it's not I'm not trying to tell you guys to go preach onto it, but we just released a video on the local vape channel. It was Ashley and I, our GM, talking about the real number breakdown, and these numbers that the CDC and the FDA is giving you actually includes teens that are 18 and up till 20 years old in these stats. So they're telling you that teens are vaping, but they're legally able to do that. So it's a shit show all the way around.
It's sleight of hand and perception. You keep saying, Juul, they advertise to millennials, and of course all of us are a little bit older. We're thinking millennials, the kids. What are they advertising the kids for? Wait a minute, there's not a fucking millennial alive who's not an adult.
There's no adult. There's no kid millennials.
You're old.
I'm 32 years old and I'm considered a millennial, and I fucking vape flavors because it helps me stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, that's it.
But, they keep saying this, and of course all the grandparents and the lawmakers are thinking kids, and it's not kids, it's not children. There's nothing wrong with a little lifestyle marketing. I'm not a big fan of Juul, but when I looked at what they did and what they did even a year and a half ago, it's not teenagers. Yes, teenagers always aspire to it, but it's 20-somethings. And that's fully legit as far as I'm concerned. If you're smoking, switch to a Juul and have a better lifestyle. That seems fine to me.
And even so, that's what pissed me off so much when Juul said that they admitted to marketing to kids. So if you guys know what I do is social media stuff for these companies, right? And we promote products. An attractive person holding a product's not marketing to kids. Tell me one time when you were 13 that you didn't think things would be better when you were a fucking adult. Which means that you're always going to consider yourself, when you're going through those phases, as an adult until you become an adult with responsibilities, and you're like, screw this, I want to be a teen again. Anyways.
No, but then you become an adult and you're like, wow, this isn't what it was crap
yeah.
to be.
Yeah. I got to pay rent? No.
There's not a single person on this panel right now who, when they were 6, 7, 8, whatever, hanging out with their friends, just being silly and playing, the girl, I'm getting a little sexist here, but the girl played mom, and the boy sat there, 7 years old, pretending to smoke and drink his martini, and we pretended to be older and adult. We emulated what we saw. Kids don't do that stuff, and when they get a little older and they can get their hands on it, then they do it again. They'll just keep doing that. It's got nothing to do with marketing or appeal.
Yeah.
Kids will do it with or without a buzz, with or without flavor. They'll just do it because they see it.
I especially can attest to that because I remember drinking Drink Mixer with 0 alcohol, and I was like, I'm fucking wasted. You know what I mean? So it's just such a shit argument. But the worst part is I'm not advocating for tobacco companies at all when I say this, but they went through it and they saw the effect that it had. And not necessarily just that the tobacco companies come out with this, but the government alone. And so when if you're a government that puts your kids on the standpoint to push these things, this is me. I don't care about anyone else in this panel. You're fucking trash. You're telling these kids to think a certain way or a certain thing, and you're using their innocence to create an objective that you're trying to accomplish. And you are every single senator, state, whoever the hell you are trash. Fight me. Go ahead, Kevin.
that's the thing I want to talk about is, you know, they bring these kids in, and I said it, I think, in the last one that, you know, I condone it. I'll never give my daughter a sign and tell her, you know, it saved mommy and daddy's lives or whatever. I mean, I can see where the vape world will go that way, and it started like shortly after I saw what I saw, and I get it. I get it. But here's the thing: it's not her fight. I'm not going to use her as a pawn.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring her into this. I mean, she understands what I do to the basic degree of a 9-year-old's understanding. I can't break down Ohm's law for her. I can't break down, you know, nick percentages to her. I don't need to. You know what she knows? She knows that daddy really enjoys this. She knows that it helped daddy to get healthy, and she knows not to touch it. All right.
But you know why that makes a difference? That you're a parent that's not expecting someone else to tell your kids what to do.
No, and exactly. And if it messes up down the road where she ends up having a cigarette or she ends up grabbing a vape at 15 or 16, that's on me. I'm not putting that on anybody else in this world. That's on me. I will deal with that. You know, so for people to go in the vape world and start, you know, putting the pictures up of their kids, all right, that's cool. You do it. I don't condone it. I don't back it. I think that this is just a fight that we as, you know, adults need to take on and I mean, they play dirty. They play real dirty, but I'm just not there. I just can't do it. It's just not.
Using kids to push ideology, it's a pretty old sort of propaganda tactic. It's been done. I mean, Hitler did it. In 1938, people from New York flew out to see Germany to see what was going on because they'd heard some bad stories. And yeah, they paraded them through the schools and they showed the kids all being, you know, gymnastic and stuff and had little chats with them and they spouted off their script. I mean, 20 years later, those kids were like, what the fuck did I do? But, you know...
And that's the worst part, like you're saying right there. You're creating this image for these kids to have in their heads, and then later on they're going to realize they did something wrong, but they trusted in you as a functioning, you'd expect conscientious adult to not do that to them. And I'm not saying it's as bad as like abuse or anything like that, but...
I think kids are stupid inherently. I think we were all stupid inherently. It's nature of the...
Whoa! Hang on.
We all were when we were kids. It's just the way it is. You don't have the breadth of experience to make decent choices. But I think we should listen to children's voices, and if they do, of their own accord, stand up. And I'm thinking of, say, Greta here. She gets a lot of shit, and she's being painted as kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. But I don't believe she is. I think she's actually, you know...
She's not detrimenting anyone's life by spreading the message that she believes.
Yeah. And she's speaking her own opinion. I don't think it's someone else's script. So if any kid wanted to get up and say, look, my dad vapes, and it's their choice to do so, then I'll back them in this fight. I don't think they necessarily need to join us, but if they choose to. But you're absolutely right. If the parents are coaching them to say this, then that's no different from what's being done against us. And that's absolutely no good. I've got two in my house, a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. But they know all about this, and they hear it all the time. They see it, so they can spout off all the words. They don't know what most of them mean, but they can spout them. But you know, they have no interest. I mean, I've got stuff around, and I trust them implicitly. Nothing has ever moved or shifted from where I leave it because they never touch it. They have no interest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can I ask a question? What about your booze, Steve? I was just asking. Just to change tack, and this is me in my little sunshine world. This morning I had a bit of a daydream, and I thought New Jersey is you know, tabled their decision because what I hope is going to happen, and this is this is just a pipe dream, but what I hope New Jersey is going to do is going to responsibly, you know, regulate these products as a competition against New York. You know, like, why aren't even politicians doing that as a fame grab or as a vote grab? You know, like contradicting themselves like that. You know, how amazing would that be? And I apologize to the New York people, of course. You know, but if another state decided, no, we're going to go the other way and do this properly, purely as a media marketing grab, You know,
After prohibition was repealed, there were still dry counties all over the states, but there were always one or two cash grab counties, and they'd have little stores right on the state line, so you could just drive over, load up the back of your truck, and drive off into the desert or the wilds somewhere and get drunk, because you can't buy booze in your county. And I could see the exact same thing happening. One or two little states decided, you know what, we can go the other way.
yeah.
Buy all of these states, because the tax is good.
Well, someone like Arizona is standing up. What was the other one? Philadelphia? No. Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure where. I think Pennsylvania's in some trouble, actually. I haven't been on social media much this weekend. I've been doing house crap, so I've been kind of out of the loop. It's been a nice little break, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Important to do that.
But I don't know where Pennsylvania stands. I think they're in trouble, actually. I thought I saw something quickly today that somebody posted from Pittsburgh, which is in Pennsylvania, that they're about to get slapped.
Didn't Pennsylvania have the 86% tax hike last year?
No, Vermont's the one that did the 92% tax hike.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much ready to ban it altogether again. And New York, I mean, if Jersey was to do what you're saying, that would be brilliant on their part, because it's a money grab for all these states, the Massachusetts, the Connecticut, Vermont, New York, because we're all tied to them. Even if Pennsylvania was to jump in on this, it's a money grab and it makes a statement. I could see that causing some political, issues between states, but whatever. Jersey's Jersey, and they're gonna keep doing what they want to do. I don't know if you ever been to Jersey, but there's some sketchy places.
But also, am I correct in saying that Jersey is considered one of the most powerful states politically?
Nah. I mean, it ranks, that's for sure. It's not like the Midwest where it's pretty mellow. Anything on the coast really is a powerful state around here.
Yeah.
Massachusetts definitely powerful. New York definitely powerful. Connecticut powerful. Yeah. I mean, the cluster right here in the northeast of the continent is pretty potent. That's for sure.
All that old money, 13 colonies.
Yeah.
And especially like Steve was saying, about these states competing with each other, where you're at right there too in that tri-state area, because like your states are super small compared to a lot of these other places, but they're all connected. And so I feel like when these people come together, your state leaders, they do things in unison with each other to provide, the idea that if they stop the vaping in all these three spots, it won't be easy enough for these people to travel across state lines to get it. And so they come together to make these plans. And I know that's tinfoil hatish, but it just would make a lot of sense.
All of this is tinfoil hatish, dude. All the way from the start with the THC cards. It's just straight up ridiculous. I mean, so, back in, 2016 when the first date dropped? August 8th? Was that 2016?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
It was August
Right, so
2016.
Yeah, so that happens, right? And everybody's in a fuss. Everybody's rushing to get things on the market before that day hits, right? That day hits, nothing happens. So everything keeps moving along like it is. Everybody puts advocacy on the back burner. I'm guilty of it, all right? I am guilty of that. So you fast forward to, where everybody last year about this time is like, oh, we've got till 2022, all right? It's still on the back burner, and I'm still pretty guilty of it. I'm still popping in with, some advocacy stuff. I'm doing my thing here, just word of mouth, because as far as I'm concerned, word of mouth is our best attack, is talking to people face to face, So we had this little leeway still, this little window, 4-year window that everybody's like breathing easy and, doing their thing and making new lines of stuff, new addies, new mods. All right. So this summer, the beginning of it, they start dropping the May 20th date. They're like PMTA, May 20th. Here we go. All right. So now our backs are up against the wall because ain't nobody paying attention. Everybody's got their pants down basically. All right. And now the crunch is on. So people start getting back into it. And then July hits. and the THC issue, but it isn't THC on the front side, it's vaping, and we get knocked out first punch. That starts it, dude. And from there, you know, all the headlines, because I remember I was in Jersey when they started hitting the headlines with it. I was on vacation, and I was watching something on CNBC, and it was Juul Labs, and it was this documentary they did for and against, and it was more against. And then you started seeing these illnesses pop up, and they started popping up quick, but nobody was clarifying it. I mean, I think Chuck was the first one I saw to actually clarify it on film what is going on.
With the cartridges and shit, yeah.
Yeah, and I shared that video everywhere at that point in time. I just had that copy and paste it on my phone. I just go to my copy and paste tab and just...
There's still a most viewed video, too, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, man. Well, that one hit home. It nailed it on the head. And it actually, my dad, who doesn't vape, all right, he doesn't smoke, I've actually got him, and I love the man to death. He is out there on Facebook correcting people about everything that he sees. He's sharing my posts, you know. He's advocating for us, and he's not even a vapor. You know, I get more advocacy from him than I do from people I shouldn't be getting it from. But here we are now. Now they're banning vape. We don't even have till the 20th, all right? We're screwed. They're banning it. Like, there is no PMTA process at this point because there is no freaking juice, all right? You don't have to worry about it. So now everybody's scrambling and everybody's bickering in Facebook groups, talking back and forth about, you know, what's going on, and it's the same stuff and it's redundant. I can't read the feeds anymore. This is all stuff I already know. You know, this is stuff that you need to be out on the street and talking to people about this. You have to change the public's perception. You're not going to do it on a Facebook group. It's not going to happen.
I understand everyone's scared, but I think there's something that needs to be put out there. You're talking about your feeds and stuff, and I'm getting the same stuff. We, in our inner communications with ourselves, we're seeing a lot of arguing with people about what we should do. There's a lot of people that are willing to sacrifice parts of the market. We should get rid of salts, or at least we should get rid of Juul, or maybe we should at least get them out of the convenience stores. There's a lot of different arguments about that. And my advice for non-industry people, stop worrying about that. Those are the regulatory details that we will work out with. But stop trying to sacrifice sections of the market. It's all or nothing now, and so we need to actually advocate across the board, and advocate about the effectiveness of what this does and why it's not damaging and all that stuff. But don't worry about, you know, something that you don't use. I don't use pods and I don't use salt and mix, so let's ban that and then we'll save the rest. It's not going to work, and it's creating division, it's creating arguments, and it's distracting us from actually getting out there and making change.
And that's another point, especially since Steve just said it. I want to say this too. Real shit, guys. Stop attacking each other. Stop attacking devices that work for other people. I like, we've had it in the chat here. I'm not saying anyone's attacking it, but people are like, get rid of salt mix, get rid of pods and stuff like that. But real shit, if we didn't have the fact that Juul came around when it did, your average consumer wouldn't have switched to vaping or tried it because it's very prevalent in front of their face at a gas station or something like that, and it's easy to get to. Do you know how intimidating it would be if I wasn't a part of this industry to walk into a vape shop not knowing nothing to ask about it? So there's no fucking reason for us to be fighting each other. We're creating division between each other, between a united front. Together we stand, divided we fall. I know that's like, you know, on all this cheesy American shit, but it's the fucking truth. We can't be beating each other up for whatever works for someone else. There's people I work with at work use salt nick pods and stuff like that, and they vape it all the time. They're not smoking cigarettes. For the majority of us, no. But you can't tell them to not be able to have the option, because it's not about about keeping vaping alive. It's about the freedom of choice. To have these people let to choose. I don't give a crap if the next guy down the street that smokes cigarettes that I meet doesn't want to switch to vaping. At least I showed him what we were able to give him, and that's his choice to make. That's his choice to make. That's what this is about. It's about taking away your right to choose.
Exactly.
By the way, LabWorks is in here. We got LabWorks in. If you don't know, he's a pretty prevalent advocate in Australia. Also makes a lot of juices and will make you a juice that tastes like cardboard. What's up, dude?
I'll deal with you in the
I need
cardboard.
120 mil of that, please. Can I get one?
Fucking bullshit.
I just meant how clever you were with the tastings. Not that it tastes like crap, just that you could make it.
Well, cardboard's not a hard thing to make. But
Cardboard's still a flavour that you can't knock someone if they want to make cardboard.
Yeah. If you want to be a poor white kid that grew up in cardboard.
yeah, well, no, we won't go down that pathway. But no, I've been gaining a lot of media attention here in Australia with the plight of what is actually going on here, both on mainstream media and behind the scenes. I can say this though, we have a group of around 50 vendors now that we're working on a secret project here in Australia to try and upend what the government's actually doing to us here. We're going to approach the government from a completely different angle. In other words, we're going to pull their fucking pants down and we're going to teach them a little lesson. But the way we're going to do it very, like, a nice way first. If they don't want to play ball, right? And Greg Hunt, if you ever listen to anything that I have to say, I'm coming after you, bitch. Simple as that. Simple as that. I really don't care what you are, who you are. You're a lawyer. You're not a doctor. You do not rule the roost here in Australia. Your decisions are not of a scientific background. They're on advisement from people that don't know how to advise the government on jack shit. So we've had enough of you, Hunt. We're coming for you. Simple. The United States has got a completely different problem and a completely different issue. You've got Wall Street now calling in, like, the banks to fault them on their bonds because they're never going to pay them back. MSA money, or as we like to call it now, is blood money. That's one thing that needs to be dealt with. And these states, I think it was Michigan in particular, what the hell's the governor up there doing, buying golf carts with the money from the MSA instead of actually putting it towards, THR, tobacco harm reduction? What's the story behind this? How are they getting away with it? Come on, guys, fill me in.
Because it's written in the MSA. You don't need to show receipts.
That's the worst part about government bureaucracy. You don't have to show any receipts. I served 8 years in the U.S. Army. I can tell you for a fucking fact, when you're your own people that are checking your own receipts, you're not held accountable.
Yeah.
So follow the money and you've got half of the issue or half of the problem. But it really gets under my skin that all these states, or the states in particular, that have been imposing these bans, and Kumo, or as we like calling him now, Cocksnot, he's got nothing, right? And then you go and find out that Bloomberg helped him get into office, and you're just scratching your head going, right. So how much dirt can we find on him? Anyone in New York listening? Hire a PI. Follow this son of a bitch and dig into his dirty underwear, because there's something there that needs to be done. And he's stroking everyone's egos right now with this ban.
And sorry, go ahead.
He's got so much to lose right now, and trust me, Kona, or whatever the hell your name is, you're not going to win the next election. Because the New York Vapors, they're coming after your ass as well. You'll be out of office. You'll be. I hope they've got. Do they have unemployment benefits? No. Right. Well, go and find a new job, you dickhead.
So I have a question, Kev. Who in New York is the potential light at the end of the tunnel? Is there anyone standing up, for this time period that's coming up?
Right now, I mean, believe it or not, dude, I mean, I'd love to get Cuomo out. I don't think it's going to happen, even with the Vapors vote. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, here in New York, it'll show in the polls, but it won't take his job away from him. It's not like Trump, where Trump's job is definitely on the line at this point. A lot of people will bitch about Cuomo, even outside of vape. Like, I watch a bunch of stuff that come on my feed for local station about Cuomo doing this, Cuomo doing that. like Cuomo, he was going to make the states, the people in the state recently buy new license plates. If your license plate was 10 years or older, it was time for a new one. Why? I've had my license plate, I think, for well over 10 years now, and I know it by heart, and I'm like, you're going to make me get a new license plate for no reason whatsoever. It's registered to me. It's not, I mean, there's no, and he definitely started the pod there, and it got to the point where he had to pull it. He was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. It seems like you see a lot more people against him when you're on social media, but I really don't see in the election anybody coming in and taking that job from him. I just don't see it.
I tend to disagree on that because he's shaking trees right now with the vaping population in New York. That's for a start. Second, you've got head of risk management for PMI or Deloitte as part of PAVE, like the husband of one of the heads of PAVE. So that's another thing that you've got there. You've got a lot of heavyweights that you could upend if needed. You just need to find chinks in their armour and upend them, get rid of them. Simple as that.
But the issue is that with the states, voter turnout is incredibly low, and unlike Australia, where you have to vote, there it's somewhat optional. So, it's not just a case of how many people he pisses off, but he's got to piss off enough people to get them to register properly and turn up at the booths. And no offense to my American friends here.
We suck at that. We suck dick at that.
We're so bad at that.
When it's your own livelihoods on the line, you can't turn up to hearings and you don't turn up at the voter booth. It's just historical fact. So
And I agree. And America's lazy like that, and America's lazy in a lot of ways, and you're seeing it right now. I mean,
And I've said it before, and I'll say it now. It's like I feel like, and not vaping is going to be the big issue that creates it, but this gives you a huge light on the fact that, like, your voices aren't being heard, and then if you're not trying, this is the revolution that we're going to have to go through to see the difference on the fact that, like, we've become, in the beginning of, like, American history and stuff like that to now, a lot of voices really matter, but nowadays people are being told what to thought. And the worst part is critical thinking is not a big apt part of our day-to-day life because we see these things on the news and stuff or the internet and we think it's true because it's there. And the worst part is, and this is no diss to anyone that's above my age group or nothing like that, a lot of older people just run with whatever they're told. And they're still here, they're still voting. And those are the ones that are actually going out and voting because they were a part of the generation that was told it would make a difference, beyond the fact that now you got the generation of people that either think it don't make a difference or they can't go out and make a difference because they have to work or something else is going on. And it's an inconvenience. But it's the fact is your slight inconvenience shapes the future of what the hell's going to happen.
Well, that's the biggest part of the American myth, is you were sold the concept of freedom, but you were never told that you have to actually be vigilant and fight for it every single fucking day. So you sat back. I mean, Canadians are no better.
And I'm not saying that it's not just like, a centralized to one place. We're seeing it right now here in America, but it's a human problem to where people are inconvenienced. We live in an instant gratification society. If they were able to create an app that told you what kind of cheesecake you were, you see 45 million people doing it, but you have maybe a quarter of that showing up to vote.
Hey, guess what? What if I told you you could talk to your friends all around the world, but I'm going to follow everything that you do, and I'm going to show you ads 24 hours a day? Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Welcome to Facebook.
yep.
Yeah.
I love the Facebook.
Day in, day out. We just, little bit by little bit, we give it all away.
Jake says in the chat he'd help more if voting was a holiday here and not in the middle of the day for most of half the people that work. And that's very true. And that's why they do these meetings and stuff like that. They'll say, oh, well, we work on a state schedule. We have to do it Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But you have to go to work Monday through fucking Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard thing anywhere in the world when it comes to voting because if, for argument's sake, here for the majority of the time they actually hold an election and it's on a weekend. It's not during the week. If you look at specific states in the US that hold a vote during the week, they do it for a reason.
Because they know it's suppression.
Yeah, correct. They do not want you to vote. Kev, the one thing about your license plate, I probably have the answer to that. And are they still made in the jails? If so, is that jail either run by the state or is it one of these, pay-as-you-go jails? Because someone's giving a kickback to whoever's running these jails, and if they're still making license plates in jails, there's your answer to that one. Every 10 years, oh yeah, a new fucking plate. Deal with it this way. This is throwing my mate a bone that owns the jail. Jails for profit are bullshit. Anywhere in the world that you see them. We now have them here in Australia, believe it or not, run by a company called Serco, which are a pack of muppets that are just money-grubbing little pricks. But the United States has got a whole big fight on their hands. We've got to fight here too, right? We're gonna change the narrative here. But we've only got, 250,000 vapers, somewhere around that barrier at the moment.
You know what I
Probably
love?
300,000. But
I love how subtle and circumspect, how polite, how you hold things close to the heart. Like you're really good at that.
look, someone called me a fucking surgeon the other day. And I like going in, I like digging around in something, cutting all the shit out and just putting it out in front of them. I said, yeah, it's not a problem. I can do that.
Just don't leave the scissors in there.
Well, no, I leave them there just for shits and giggles.
Because I want you to come back next month.
It's the buy one, get one free for surgery this month.
Yeah, exactly.
And I won't attack people too much for not going out and voting. To be completely honest, even like serving in the military and stuff like that, I didn't vote. It just wasn't something that was a big deal to me. Because honestly, I didn't give a fuck about what was going on around me. I went with the flow. But now that I found the specific issue, like what's going on right now with vaping and everything, now it's provided me the reason to actually go and do it. And the worst part is that I should have been more proactive before, and I feel like a lot of people can identify with this. We need to be more proactive in every aspect of it because we're voting in these people that are now we're seeing make these absolute executive choices for us without actually listening to us. And so, like, we have to go out there and make sure we do our diligence to make sure that if this guy's going to make a choice for us, or this woman or this person is going to do this, it's going to be a choice that we would provide, that we would support, or that we'd want to happen. And it sucks, guys. It sucks, especially being in America, to actually have to think that we have to actually go do something for something, like Legion said before. But we do. We have to do that. This will be the first year I voted. I never voted for presidency. I never did that shit. People thought me being military I'd lean right. I'm more of a middle kind of guy. But obviously I never made my voice heard. But now is your chance to go out there and make your voice heard on a serious issue, because it affects you directly.
Can I just say something to Always Lost is just put there? I didn't vote last time because I didn't want Trump or Clinton in office. Could you imagine if every single person who did that voted for the person that they wanted to go in, how much of an effect that would have?
Well, here's the thing, Adam, and I'm not going to get into politics too deep because it's always a dirty subject no matter who you're talking to. But in American politics, if you're talking about going out and voting, anyways, you're going out and you're talking about voting, the person that didn't win the election by a popular vote had a landslide amount. And then here in the States, we are kind of jury rigged because it's more about the electoral system. And like I said, I don't want to get too much into politics. It makes people hate their best friend. But this is the truth. But there was a popular vote amount that surpassed by millions for one or the other, and the other still won.
Yeah. It's a crazy system here. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's been jury-rigged the whole time, and I'm not saying that's going to fix everything for us to go out there and vote tomorrow and do all that stuff, but at least the numbers will be there because people will pay attention to it eventually. Will it make the change? You better fucking hope so, but I can't promise you that. But at least, like, if it does make enough of a number amount, then that's where you get the people that back you up. That's where you get the people that actually make these things back you up. Because if it's like 45 million people voting for this one person, that's an audience that they can entertain. And I know it's going to sound shitty, but if they're going to use you, at least let them use you for what you want.
Correct. It's okay. It's like the company that I work for in the background. I've had so many different companies now from the United States reach out to me for help or for options. How can we get around this? What can we do? And I said, look, If you're not linked to your state groups, you better. You better listen to the proper calls for action coming out of CASAR, coming out of VTA, everything like this. If you have a skin in the game in any way, shape or form, join one of your state organisations, listen to what they've got to say and act upon what they're doing. It's the only way. We've got to take this back from these politicians and corporations that think we're nobodies. Enough is enough. Time to dig your heels in. Boots on the ground, people. The gig's up. You know, go back to when I started vaping in 2014. You know, we knew that there was things happening. Fast forward to 2016, like 8/8/16, and you've got deeming regs handed down. We thought, okay, what's going to happen? And the PMTA process got put into play, otherwise known as the Philip Morris Trade Agreement. It was written pretty much by PMI for the government and for the FDA in particular. You have a revolving door policy with the FDA, having people come in, do their job, make whatever happen, and then they go and get a golden parachute job with whoever they've just done the biggest workload for. You know, United States, even when I lived there, 20 years ago, it was corporate America at that point. But right now, it's worse than that. The FDA has no real jurisdiction from where I'm sitting on controlling the whole vape space. This is an industry, this is a human rights issue for a start. Secondly, we're helping people save their lives. And, oh no, you can't do that because we've got to look after our farmer mates. Enough is enough. Gottlieb went in there, stripped out all the warning labels from Chantix and any other product that he could get his grubby little mitts on, and he goes and gets his fucking seat on the board at Pfizer. Come on.
And that's the worst part about American politics. It's not exactly what you're doing for the people. It's about the people you know and you network with, to where you're making moves for these people to make you successful, because it's a money-driven economy and it's a money-driven country.
Correct. Well, look at anywhere in the world, okay? Anywhere in the world that has a voting system or a half-decent voting system, it's all corporatized in some way, shape or form. No two ways. But the United States, there's people, like very good friends of mine that are in the advocacy industry or in the vape space, they all say exactly the same thing to me, that until the FDA is stripped back to nothing and rebuilt from the ground up,
we're screwed.
You're not going to get anything done. Secondly, you have governors that are taking it upon themselves to make themselves look good for their constituents, but it's not doing any good either. And then you got now the true harm that's been put upon us, and it's all very conveniently done right on the day or within 30 days of certain products being released to the market. It stinks.
Yeah.
And we're definitely
add in some term limits in this government. I mean, guys that are sitting in seats for 30 years, change.
Fuck off. Get them out.
And that's what trips me out the most, that people don't realize. Like these people, whether at a state level or a congressional level and like a full federal government thing, their limits are capped at maybe, I can't remember the exact numbers, but if you want them, ask me, I'll find them for you. And I think it's around like less than $200,000 a year you're paid as a federal employee. But these motherfuckers are worth millions. And it's not because of your tax money making these choices. It's because of the people that they're providing the laws that pass for to let their companies and corporations sell or peddle whatever the hell they want.
Or do whatever they want legally, because they'll do it.
Correct. As long as you don't get your pants pulled down and you don't get caught,
right,
then you're going to do whatever the fuck they want. Bottom line.
What were we going to say, Legion? I know you had a point.
No, it's just something that just occurred to me as you're speaking. And so Kev and Chris would be the best two on the panel to handle this, if you know. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, so they're in charge of food and drugs, right? Are they, do they have jurisdiction over plastic cups that are used in hospitals?
No, because that's considered a consumer product that's not doing anything to either benefit or detriment your health.
Syringes?
Syringes, I'm sure there's some kind of regulation on it, but as the FDA goes, no.
No, syringes are covered under FDA. It's a medical product. Yes.
About defibrillators?
Yes, because it directly affects your health, I'm sure. You have to go by OSHA standards with stuff like that. I used to be a CNA.
So they cover all health?
To a degree of anything that would detriment or benefit your health.
Or not?
To a degree of whether it benefit or detriment your health.
Okay.
So like you're saying with like AEDs and stuff like that, because of the heart association and stuff like that, yes, because it's something that could either bring you back to life or kill you. But the fact is, like, it's such an overreach, and it's one department for such a vast amount of things that you're not seeing any real things done individually at a certain level. But there you go again. Like,
I wasn't sure if they just covered literally what their name implies.
No.
Food and drugs, and of course beverages.
No, there's...
That's a different department. But
and that's the craziest part right there. I don't think the FDA has too much control over too much stuff. But then again, there's a lot of stuff that they should have control over, like you would imagine, like at the stats alone. Drinking and alcohol eclipse everything else right now, especially with this teen thing, right? But you see nothing being done about it. You can walk into a gas station in the United States of America, and right next to where you'd buy an energy drink or a soda is a case of beer that you can run in, grab, and run out with. When you have bathing products, you have to go into a store to be carted to actually get into the actual place to use it or to purchase it before you even look at it. So
you don't see alcohol bottles with
warning labels on them.
Or no, but measured doses, so you can't, like, you know,
overdose and kill yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Because if that were true, then I would be chugging vodka on the weekends.
yeah, but consider it too. I mean, our culture worldwide, we celebrate binge drinking. We make movies about it.
Oh yeah.
You know, someone's grandpa died while we were binge drinking, so let's spend the whole weekend pretending he's still alive in a wheelchair. Or, you know, here's a drug-addicted, alcoholic, fat guy falling down a stair in a toga. Let's make a movie about it. We celebrate binge drinking.
And that's the worst part is I could walk down the street, and if I vape now with all this misinformation in the media, I get the dirtiest effing looks I've ever seen. But if you were to see me walking down the street with a brown bag and a bottle of vodka, they'd be like, whatever.
Oh, it's such a double standard there. It's so crazy. You're just like, wow.
And it's celebrated, like you said, in media and stuff like that. You know, I mean, and that's the worst part is like that we have such a Puritan political viewpoint in the United States of America. Like the rest of the world, just one thing I can point to. You guys are Australian. Maybe it's a little bit different. But if not, where you guys are at in the world, you can show a fucking titty on the internet or the movies or whatever. In normal life, you have nude beaches across Europe and no one gives a crap. You show one boob in a movie and next thing you know, that's a female's breast. You're rated R. You're not looked at like a fucking thing that's that anyone could take a message from. You could do the movie that taught everyone the basis of life. But if there's a titty in it, you're rated R and kids aren't allowed to see it. It's such a sideshow. It's all bullshit, man.
See, I tweeted about that today. Watching a TED talk this morning about a woman who was doing a study on the detrimental effects of pornography on teenagers. And if anyone saw that, I'm just referring to my phone now. CDC figures, and I hate to bring them up, but CDC in 2017, dating violence was 20% when vaping was only 13%. So I can imagine now that still... Yeah.
Nothing talk about it. I don't hear nothing about that. You always hear about like...
No news about that.
Yeah. And so, excuse me, it's such a double standard, and it's like I know we all know. Excuse me, we all know this. The worst part is we gotta put it to everybody else. It's not about morals. It's not about creating a better future. It's just about the MF and money. That's it.
Yeah.
We have this thing too where 30, 35 years ago, smoking commonplace everywhere. Everyone did it.
Office buildings, restaurants, schools.
It's sophisticated and sexy. It's like having a coffee. Everyone did it, and then we discover it's bad for you, and we start making efforts to stamp it out. And they start saying, and this has always been my issue, even before I vaped, I said this exact thing. They do tests on cigarettes. They blow them on cell cultures. So they have a machine that smokes for you, and it blows it on a cell culture, and it kills the cell culture, and they say nicotine kills cells.
What cells are you testing, though?
That's
Right.
It's tobacco smoke from pre-bought, pre-made, 7,000 chemicals. You can't pinpoint nicotine there. That's a whole different concoction. But that's what I'm trying to get to, is we've got 30 years of increasingly repetitive propaganda stating that nicotine is brain poison, nicotine kills, nicotine, over and over, and it's not. It's smoking.
It's the chemicals they add to it. It's like energy drinks with caffeine. It's not that it's going to kill you, but you could do an overabundance of anything that'll hurt you. But that's why, like, I don't know if you guys saw it on the local vape page and stuff like that, the Fox video, which I'll just say this personally, Fox News, I don't give a shit about. I usually do not like anything they say. But they hit the nail on the head when that guy went on there. He was like, it's not the nicotine in cigarettes that's hurts you. It's the tar and it's the chemicals that create the fucking tar. And the worst part is, nicotine's an easy sell point because it's a word that everyone knows.
Well, that's the thing. They've been trained to demonize smoking and pinpoint that aggression against nicotine. We look like we're smoking. They think we're smoking. We've just traded one addiction for another because it's the same thing in there. It's nicotine. And they hate us for it.
And I really hate when you see people say, like, oh, you see a person hitting a vape, there's a big cloud. There's got to be something stupid or I'm not getting it wrong in there. It's not about the content. It's about the context. Like, stop. Like, you get to blow big clouds. Like, you know, if I were to, like, I partake in marijuana. I smoke marijuana. It's legally state-wise here. I do a big fat cloud of marijuana. I'm not going to get more high or less high. I'm going to be as high as my body will accept it.
The really big thing, though, about nicotine in the medical community is that they would like to weaponize it in part. They know that there are real studies out there regarding nicotine, and it can help actually people that have Alzheimer's and certain other brain disorders, because it switches parts of the brain back on and off. This is the other issue that no one is throwing down the gauntlet right now. That if, for argument's sake, the US government turned around and said, well, no, you need to go and get a prescription for your nicotine or for your liquid as such, that then hands everything back to the pharma side of things and takes the power away from the tobacco industry. They don't want that. The tobacco industry is fighting tooth and nail to try and keep a hold of whatever the hell they can that's left. The vape space and vape technology over the past 5 years has upended the apple cart of so many of the big tobacco companies. It's not funny. Once the genie's out of the bottle, you can't jam the genie back in the bottle anymore. Enough is enough, right? Tobacco, if you really look at them, they're demonizing the tobacco industry because the tobacco industry now is putting money into the vape space. If you look at PMI's studies out of the UK, it quite clearly states that they would like to be smoke-free by 2025. That is their ultimate goal. They would like vape technology to take over so their shareholders still make money. So be it. I don't have a problem with that. But when you have pharma walk in and want the same vape technology as a drug delivery system, then you have a fucking problem. I'm sorry. That's what
because it's a profit industry.
Right. And
I've said it all along. Big tobacco is not our primary enemy.
No.
It's big pharma.
It's big pharma, and if you guys haven't noticed, there's an article done for vaping on. I've only seen it on the website. I don't know if it's in a magazine yet. Angela Garrity did an article. Remember how Bloomberg came out donating, saying he's going to dedicate millions to this thing, and then the next thing you know, that he invested into a heated nicotine delivery device. He actually created a vape after saying he's going to fight vapes. Because he sees the fact, and they know how he sells it differently than the rest of the industry. Pharmaceutical nicotine.
It's a crippled vape, so it can be sold as a pharma device and not a pleasure device.
There you go, right there. It's a medicine,
Yeah.
which is fucking insane. But I don't want to take on too much time. We've all hit an hour and a half. If you guys got any more points, please go ahead and spread them out. But I don't want to take a lot of people's nights here. It's late for Kev, and I want to say thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. Totally tough.
And-
It's a pleasure hanging out, fellas.
Yeah. But we're going to need you here for a little bit longer, and I'm putting on the gloves because I'm fat and sweaty. We got our 300 giveaway. We've been talking to you guys about our 300 giveaway forever. I know it took a little bit while for us to get it all together, but we actually got it. So, but I want to make sure that every single one of you in this chat or who will watch this later does know that usually we don't ever get anything from big companies or nothing like that. All our stuff's been donated. Like, we've got plenty of products from Vape Daily. If you don't follow them on social media, Vape Daily on Instagram, also on Facebook. But today, Erica at Local Vape, my boss, which is amazing. I'm not trying to just get the brown on my nose, but amazing, hooked us the fuck up with a TVL Plan B collab mod, and this is our 300 giveaway. This is a really expensive device. She gave it to us to give away. So shout out to Erica Local Vape, and if you guys don't know, they gave us a discount code. This is the only thing I've gotten from Local Vape. Amigos20 at localvape.com gets you 20% off. Otherwise, we have there's a lot of other bitches sales. But boom, this fucking big ass. This is gonna cost me $7,000 to sing because it's like 18 pounds. Parallel box mod. And
18 kilos. Then.
yeah, I didn't watch Narcos. I don't know how much that is in American cocaine, but anyways,
Over 9,000.
a lot. So, boom, we're gonna do a giveaway for this tonight, and from Vape Daily for the next couple of weeks. We got a ton of RDAs and stuff like that. But next week, I want to give you guys a heads up because I spoke a little bit about it. It's getting cold out. Unfortunately, I only got it in one size. Next week, we're going to give away this locals only Local Vape hoodie, which is OG as AF, which is, you can't get this anymore. And this will be next week, but it's large. Anyways, the chat. Start hitting your ex mother.
The hat for that one, bro. Come on, I need that.
But if you guys in the chat, everyone that's here, start hitting that X1 unless you've won twice from our channel. And I remember most of you, so don't do it.
Good word.
So anyways, go ahead, start hitting them X1s, guys, in the chat, and I'll have our special guest, Kev, choose a number, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, this thing's bitchin'. It's a dual battery, 21700, but you also got the adapters. Let me open it and make sure. For 18650s.
Who's doing the randomizer? Is that me?
I think I got it. Yeah, we got the sleeves in here so you can do 18650s. I got it up. If it doesn't work, then you'll do it.
That's a big boy toy right there.
Yeah, this thing's hefty as fuck, guys. And also, as always, a big shout out to every one of you coming in here. I saw the chat. The chat was fucking popping tonight. Oh, you guys were communicating with each other while we're going off on just random tangents and stuff like that. But we appreciate every single one of you, and this is why we do this. We want to make sure you guys, not necessarily we want to give away stuff to make you come here, but because we appreciate you, we want to show appreciation.
Yeah.
Amigos Co. Hit that sub button if you have it.
I want to say shout out thanks to Erica. Thanks for helping us out and giving us that. That's really, really generous of you.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Erica owns Local Vape. She's an amazing person. She's been around for the vape industry, at least in the United States, I can say. Personally, since it's been a prevalent thing, created a great group of people. I work for them, and so I'm not trying to brown nose, but I wouldn't be smoke-free without Local Vape. So yeah, throw in your X1s, guys. We'll call it in like 10 seconds. But yeah, so yeah, like Legion said, huge shout out to Erica. Provided this for fucking free for you guys. For free.
Whoever gets hands on that is one lucky son of a bitch. That
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Legion was like, oh, can I have it? No, he didn't say that, but I know he wanted to.
I was tempted to X1 a bunch of times as well, but I knew you'd
I'm
figure
about to run to my computer. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Create a random
I've got
name.
my fake account. I've got my fake account going on right now.
All right, we'll stop the X1s in 3, 2, 1. I'll give you guys a minute for the lag. Even though I know you guys don't stop, you guys never do
Nobody stops when you say stop.
it. But as soon as you hear me say stop, just write stop in the chat so I know. they're just gonna go all night.
Yeah. Do you blame them?
No.
18 pounds of solid brass.
All right, stop, guys. For real though, it's funny, but not anymore.
No, everybody stops.
But I just want to look it up real quick so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I want, like I said, a huge shout out to Erica for this. I'm gonna tell you guys the retail value of this motherfucking thing.
See if I can try and get the randomizer to work.
Boom, there we go. Everyone's saying stop. So this mod usually goes for $250, and Erica hooked us up, guys. This is the most expensive thing we'll ever give away on here besides Steve's butt virginity.
It only costs Vandal a free day of work, that's all.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks, no. Alright, I can't figure it out. Adam, can you do the randomizer?
I'm trying now.
Alright. But yeah, you guys, localvape.com, Amigos 20% off your whole order. We also got motherfucking Breeze Tones coils.
Oh, here we go. Now the CDC, this is news just in for anyone that hasn't been following anything. The CDC has now shifted the message to include cannabis in the same breath as...
But the damage is already done.
Fucking idiots.
The damage is so done already, it's like getting out of this hole right now. Holy crap.
Well, the only way I can see, from someone that is in the game, is it's going to have to be a hard reset. And surely the strong or people that have networked very well over the last few years, they're going to be the ones that are coming out of this. But yeah, there has to be a hard reset of some description.
Yeah.
To fix this issue.
Kev, is it a number Kev can choose?
So is it between 1 and the final number?
That's what I'm assuming. We usually have check for that.
Yep. So the number is anywhere between 1 and 1230.
So Kev, choose a random number between that.
Wow!
Fucking what? 12:30.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
130. I mean, you're serious with that?
It is, because that's just the way it worked out. There's a lot of blanks, so I can do it again.
I'm just gonna pick my favorite number, my lucky number, and that's 18.
18. Yes, we have a winner, if that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's not someone that's won twice, but Odyssey's not here. So
Yeah, that is Jake.
Jake.
Jakey.
Lucky man. Congratulations, Jake.
All right, Jake. So you won the mod. I need you to find me on Instagram if you have Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, type it in the chat. We'll go from there. But Chris Vandal on Instagram, send me your name, your full address, and boom, it's going to be shipped out tomorrow to you.
Nice work, Jakey.
I know right off the top of my head, it's 4 West Fenmont Street, Saratoga Springs. That's my
Whatever the hell you do not send that address a bag of dicks.
Crazy. Well, thank you everyone for coming out and listening to us rant on again.
Yeah, before we close it down, though, Jake, if you're still in the chat, please let us know and let me know that you sent me the message. If you're still here. Don't be stunned.
bag of dicks you're sending, I prefer unflavored.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're an adult.
Cardboard.
Hashtag cardboard, Jake.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake, if you have Instagram, please send me your name and your full address to @ChrisVandal on Instagram in a message, and I will get this shipped out tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
Perfect. He says he's got it taken care of. Awesome. So let me gloves off. So anyways, shout out to everyone in the chat. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys coming here. We're a bunch of, well, not quite me, but a bunch of old men complaining about what's going on, but we want to help make a difference. And every single one of you, especially lab work, set them up for that cardboard juice.
You'll pay for that fucking comment about old men, bitch.
Yeah, I'm afraid. We got customs. You won't get here.
I want to know,
Really?
is this a wet cardboard
Wet cardboard's an extra $2 per milligram.
Yeah, and no, but you forgot about the dirty socks. I've got them too. You know, that dirty sock feel.
No one cares about your sticky socks under your bed. But yeah, so we'll close it right here, guys. Jake, congratulations on the mod. It's a bitch and piece. I really hope you enjoy it. If you get it, shoot us a picture and we'll promote it on the Instagram. Otherwise, every single one of you mean the world to us. If anyone else got something to say it now.
Shout out to Local Vape for supporting us in this show and our Blithering On. Don't forget to support your local vape store and, you know, those that need the help more often. And, of course, look after yourself in this fight. It's not an easy thing. It's pretty taxing. So, you know, look after yourself.
Yeah. It's a huge thing. And you guys, big shout out to Kev coming on here. Kev doesn't usually do the YouTube stuff. I believe that you said this is one of your first.
First one ever. I appreciate you guys putting me on and having a chat with me. It's been a pleasure. I will carry on conversation outside of this, that's for sure. And everybody that tuned in, appreciate you all, Amigos Co. I'm telling you, hit that sub button. It's definitely worth it. And keep fighting for your rights.
Yep.
On it. Get out there and spread the word. We need it. That's what I got.
Yep. Big shout out to Kevin. Goes out, advocates, hits different areas, does his shit, spends his own money to do this stuff. Shout out to Legion doing reviews. Ion Vaping. If you haven't seen a series yet, you go check it out. Adam with Bitch and Coils, Amigos 20 on localvape.com. Labworks is okay. And no, but yeah, everyone, thank you so much. And we'll stop the stream here. You guys have a great fucking night.